This is AdaB360, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about a couple of perspectives I have on be ahead of the game but don't get stuck in a game, which is very tricky. So how are you going to be ahead of the game and not get stuck in the game when you're actually playing the game? In chess, I've learned that you are using methods and strategies in how you move your pieces from multiple angles and from multiple perspectives, and it kind of forces you to think ahead. What happens if I move this piece, and what happens if I move this piece, and then you watch, and then you kind of go based on what your opponent does on his move. So it's really interesting. Chess, it's a really interesting game. For me, it worked, and it helped me understand a way of thinking, kind of be ahead of the game in a sense. Somehow, you know, you lose sometimes, and sometimes you win, and it's really interesting because it kind of teaches you a way of, and a habit in real life too. The point being, in a chess game, in my world, in the world we live today, in the society, is very sad because what I'm witnessing, being on social media, learning the methods, learning how people respond to things, what should you say or what should you not say, and those sort of things that really has an impact on somebody's life. There are a lot of disturbance out there on social media, and people realizes just then the power of it when it really impacts to a magnitude, which is an extreme that it's posted in social media and gets to the point to be viral, but then to get viral to a point where it doesn't even make any sense. It's just talk. And what people don't realize is that those talks have such a deeper ramifications into how affect other people's lives. They react so emotionally, and that tells you that they're so engaged with this social media platform that really feeds into their need of validation and listening, which is fine. That's what's for it, for some. But when it comes to a point where who is really benefiting your comment, who is really benefiting your reaction on the social media platform, that could be anything, Instagram, Facebook, you know, YouTube, and especially like TikTok lately. The judgment, it's done based on a self-projection, guys. So to learn to have different perspectives of the situations and not assume without fully knowing and understanding a situation, and based on a assumed talk from social media, it's very toxic, number one, to you, because you really don't understand the situation. Number two, it feeds into your validation, which you feel like it listens to you, and then it kind of spirals down from there. Number three, because somebody is going to say something that you may not like, and then here you go, they made the best of you, and now your comment is there, and then you start feeling ashamed, and then you start feeling bad about yourself. So it's this toxic circle of how really can affect, and the more you do it, you get kind of caught into it. So it's very important for you to understand the power of social media can have in some human minds out there. Not everybody's so resilient to understand that this is a tool, that this is just a perspective. It's a form of expression of what that happens in that moment. That doesn't mean necessarily is a true fact in the whole story. So maybe just think about that. Perspectives. And going back to chess, that's what chess taught me is, you know, yes, I might make a bad move, but you think through it. Try to think through it. Try to be ahead of the game and not stuck in the game.